Hello, welcome back to Cardiff City World. It's your host, Evan James, and we're back with the Terrace Take. And it's a very special episode today because today I'm reunited with the gorgeous Rob Weil. How are we doing today?
Very good, man. Looking forward to this. It's been a while since we've been done one together, so looking forward to it, mate. So thank you for this.
Now, here's an important question, guys, for the comments who will be joining us shortly. What duo is this called? Is this Rebun or is it Ob? I don't know. What would you say it is? God, I mean, like you have the R&R revelations and everything like that. I feel like we need a special one, like
100%, man. 100%.
I'm let's say one vote for Rebun anyway. But if you got any better suggestions in the comments, please let us know. But also, we'll say I want to get a few things off my chest first of all. Because I'll never forgive myself if I forget them. But straight after this now, we've got at 9 p.m. we've got a member show over on the Patreon. So if you are a member of the channel, please go over and watch it straight away. Matt will be on there for you. And again, if you haven't already become a member, like literally, I don't know what you're doing because the price of a cup of coffee, if not less these days. Honestly, getting access to exclusive shows. And Sai's actually just finished filming one on Monday, an interview with former City legend Stephen Corker, and that will be out soon. It'll be out early access for members first, for probably about a couple of weeks before anyone else can get access to it. So be very interesting to watch that one. And let's get into all the nitty gritty, shall we? First of all, I think we're a little bit more consistent than Luton by now. I'm not sure if everyone else saw Jack Wilshere's comments, but 4-1 win. Can we complain really?
No, I mean, it was such a professional performance. Obviously we'll delve into personal performances and things like that throughout the show. But I think it was a very structured and professional performance. And, I think a lot of credit needs to go to Wimbledon as well, by the way. I've spoken to a couple of people on through their channels and things like that since the game, and I have a lot of respect for them as a club, given what they've gone through of late. You're obviously a little bit younger than me, but I grew up watching the Crazy Gang in the 90s and things like that, and Wimbledon was everyone for me anyway. I think that they were everyone's second team, and it's a shame where they are. But I think they made a hell of a good account of themselves. They give up. They were probably one of the best teams I've seen down the ground this season. For the fight in them, the structure. They held Cardiff off for a long time, mate. And they stuck to their jobs. They were very well regimented, and they made a good account of themselves for me personally, bud.
I think, the scoreline probably didn't reflect how they played a bit. I think at the end of the day, and not to sound like really privileged, but I think it was just we outclassed them, even though 100%. Even though you can't say that was an embarrassing scoreline for them. I think they probably deserved a second goal because they had one chance where I think there was that Stevens who scored for them. I think he later had a chance. He just put wide. I'm thinking another day that would have been 2-2 or whatever. And I think, is it Johnny Jackson? Is it the manager? I think he is. I think he's a really underrated manager. I'll be honest. He's got a little bit of Warnock in him, but he's a bit more of a modern spin on him, I think. He knows he wants to go for the more physical style. But if I'm being honest right now, I still think they're quite a quick side. They like to counter-attack a bit more. But I noticed they pressed us a lot more than I thought they would. And it almost caused us a bit of trouble, really. I think because if it was early in the season they were doing this, I think we would have crumbled a bit, and because we wouldn't have been as rehearsed. But since we've had a lot of drilling in this, I guess you could say riskier possession-based style, playing through the press, and I feel like the players now are really sort of drilled into it, and it makes you wonder whether you're more impressed with Cardiff playing through the press or for Wimbledon, with their aggression. So I think, where they are 16th right now, I think they should deserve to be a bit higher up. But I just think that for a 4-1 scoreline, they did really well anyway. But I thought they put up way more of a fight. I can't remember who said this. I think Sai said in his breakdown. They put way more of a fight up than Luton did, if I'm being completely honest. Which says a lot, really. But Yeah, let's go. Go on.
They got their plan down to a T. Whereas I think it was a bit all over the place with how they want to play. They didn't know whether they wanted to press. They didn't know whether they wanted to sit back, and which is what killed them. What killed Luton in the end. I think they were caught in two minds. Whereas Wimbledon stuck their task and they had a clear game plan from the start, and it was a very, very, very good game plan. And for our sake, quality shone through in the end, and we are obviously a much better team than them, and I think there's no doubt about that. And I think that's the difference between a good coach and a very good coach, I think.
Yeah.
That's the most politically correct way I can say that.
A cracking coach. Yeah.
Difference between Aaron Ramsey and Jack Wilshere.
There we are. It's not past 9 o'clock yet, mate. Rules have changed now, but I will say as well that now we look at the table. We are 12 points clear of the playoffs, which is mad to think. Bolton are third, and thanks to, I believe, Reading yesterday, was it? Yeah. Reading, Reading, I think, took the lead, and then Bolton equalised late on. However, it's still a bonus for us, I think, because if you think of it now, you look at us and Lincoln, and we're all trying to say, like, when are Lincoln going to drop points? And you have to think, like, how are Lincoln still going? But then we look at ourselves and, like, how are we still going at the rate we are? Touch wood and all. But even if it's just, say, it narrows it down to just us and Lincoln, of course, I'd really want us to lift the title and storm the league from now. But even the difference of like Bolton and Lincoln is 8 points by now. So we're in the automatic spot regardless for a while. I mean, again, I'm gonna jinx everything now, but it's gonna take something quite catastrophic to happen for us to, I say bottle it. And again, I know I said it, I did all the jinx stuff, but if I'm being honest, we've lost loads of players to injuries, and we've managed probably better than we thought. And not to be disrespectful, obviously, Yusuf Salek, Ruben Colwell are like key players for us. I mean, they're probably the last players you want leaving the club on cheap or at all, really. But yeah, it seems like we've managed to, not even fit square pegs in round holes. We found the likes of Kellyman playing the false nine, even Joel Colwell. And if anything, we've only scored more goals, haven't we? So,
yeah, 100%. 100%, mate. And I hate using this phrase because I think it's disrespectful to the league. But I know obviously we are in League One and the standard is a little bit different. But you think that, you look at if we were under different regimes, etc., in the past, and when we've lost 2 or 3 first teamers, there's no bones about it, first teamers out the team, the form has dramatically changed. Now, that's happened with Cardiff in terms of the players dropping out, but if anything, they seem to have kicked on and excelled even more. Like you talk about Joel, how much Ryan Wintle, I'll sing his praise till the cows come home. I know what people say about Lawler and Bagan and things like that, understandably so. But for me, at the minute, Ryan Wintle's my player of the season. I think he's just been outstanding and stepped up since start of December. And then you mentioned obviously about Kellyman, false nine, been outstanding. That's a great reference from Martin, by the way, about Joel and Frankie Lampard. And it's quality, mate. It's good to see. It's good to see. It is nice to see smiles on faces and positivity around and backing. So, what could possibly go wrong?
We've all jinxed it so much now. We've both done it. Hey, I'll be honest. I'm not usually the kind of guy for like jinxes and stuff. I don't really sort of go by that. I just think fate naturally takes its course anyway. But what I say is that I got to give credit where it's due. Getting Brian by Murphy in was probably the best thing that we could have done because it's all had a ripple effect. And again, it always comes from the top down. And look, I'll say my bit again. I'll never forgive the red era or anything else like that, other things that they've done. But you got to sort of at least give them a bit of credit in their probably using Sai as a scout to get a BBM in, because he did a few videos on him, and I still say to this day now that I genuinely think they're watching our content then and Sai's videos, because I was like, oh yeah, there's no way they're getting this BBM guy in. He'd be too smart of a sign in, and then obviously we go and get him, and it just seems like there's systemic change of the club. It seems like there's a dressing room that's inspired and motivated and not, arguing amongst each other. And look, I know the likes of Callum Robinson's probably not happy with the lack of minutes he's getting, but at the same time, it seems that he's got, players like him seem got like more motivation than ever to prove their point. And it's not a case of just because you're on high wages, you're going to get, you're going to start. I mean, we saw that at the start of the season, when Chambers wasn't quite up for it, he got dropped, and now he's back playing regular, and he's, club captain. Now we can see from the likes of Chambers or Show Willock why they are part of the club now, and it makes me wonder whether it was, they just needed an injection of confidence or a new sort of way to sort of bring it. Because if I'm being honest, last season I look at the players like Willock and Chambers respectively, I'm thinking like they're probably the first I was thinking of offloading, but now I'm thinking we can't get rid of them.
100% agree with you. Absolutely 100% agree with you, mate. With that, like, I must admit, and I'll openly hold my hand up to it, Willock in particular, come the summer, I want him out. I didn't want him there. I just didn't think he was good enough. I didn't think that he warranted his place within the club, let alone the starting lineup. And Jesus God, he's proved me wrong, and I'm happy how much he's proved me wrong, because for me now, he's showing that he is probably one of the first names on our team sheet. It's no coincidence that there's chops and changes and rotation within starting 11, like your centre mids, your centre halves, etc. But he's still a consistent player in our starting lineup for a reason. So I'm absolutely over the moon with him. And obviously Chambers as well, mate. He's shown his leadership for me. He hasn't he'd been there, done it, but not so much been there, done it in League One. But he's shown his experience and his leadership, mate, and he's helping these young lads around him. You imagine, like, what it's like for Dylan Lawler, players like Akapakio, etc., go in the change room when you got Chambers playing his best football for a long time, who's been there, done it in Champions League, Premier League, international level. That's class for them. That's so good for these boys to have Chambers playing at his best. And I think it shows me. I think it shows. Even Fish, Fish is still a very, very young man. I know he come through United Academy and stuff, but he's still a young lad. And I think
23 yesterday, I think he was.
What's that?
Yeah, he turned 23 the other day, I think. So, it's
nuts,
crazy.
mate.
I mean,
talk about him as if he's, in his late 20s. The boy's like literally young enough to be my son, near enough, not far off. Like, it's nuts. But
he's younger than me, Christ. Oh, God.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's brilliant, mate. So good.
Oh, only 24 once.
NG as well, mate. Yeah, NG. Like, it's never seen him be back to his best. Like,
I forgot to mention him, yeah.
Yeah, I touched upon it with Reese a couple of weeks ago, that we're now seeing the NG, for me, prior to the transfer talk within the potential Preston move and things like that, some 18 months ago, wherever it was. This is the NG that we all know and love, the shit house, the leader, and literally the wind-up merchant, but linking good footballer like as well. So, brilliant, mate. It was a good time to be alive.
Unfortunately, he just kind of had the shithousery last season, and that was kind of it. And unfortunately, that on its own, it kind of put him in a lot of deep water, didn't it? But now 100%. It's like, you could chuck him any position. And look, I'd be honest, but before he was tested left back and he really struggled. This time you could put him there and he'd do a really good job. But he's also played centre back for us for quite a while. I think was it Mick McCarthy? I think it was, or I can't remember who it was. Yeah, but even Steve Morrison. Yeah, even Steve Morrison, he played centre back a bit. I mean, you could even say with nowadays, I mean, full backs are technically wingers, or it can be with the overlap. but he inverts, he overlaps, he does everything, and he's a good free kick taker. You know, albeit he's not scored every single one, but I mean, neither is Ruben Colwell, but they've both been, you know, putting him in, and you know, at worst case, you could probably put him in the sticks, and you do a good job like he has done before. And I'll be honest, the one sort of thing I don't like is not having to keep on the bench, because look, I don't care how certain you are, right? You don't know when, you know, Trot could pull a muscle or something, and it could be something not even contact with the ball. But to me, that's my only sort of thing. But I'm not BBM, am I? And I'm not winning us the league, so I'd rather keep my lips tight about that.
Question on that, actually. Do we know if there's a reason for it? Like, has media or anything posed that question to him? Does anybody know in the chat?
One for the chat to get on, I think.
Yeah, because you think there's got to be a reason why.
Mm.
And I get it. Like, you know, I don't want to say too much on it about the risk of jinxing it, etc. Like, but you think there's got to be a reason why he's not putting an extra keeper on the bench or what have you. So, yeah, if anybody does know, smash in the comments.
Please do, yeah. I will say hi to everyone as well, because I realise I've let the comments flood in, so I'll go get them just in a second. But, I realise now, like,
I've been chapsing all the time.
No, both equally. Don't worry. Just the anxiety builds as I scroll through the comments, like, oh Christ! Guys, I appreciate that. No.
Treat them mean, keep them keen, and all that, innit?
My only sort of reason, as I can say, the only reason for that is that, because we can only have 7 subs on the bench for League One, he's probably thinking, well, if I put a keeper as one of them and potentially waste another spot for a defender, I don't know, but that's just how I think he's thinking about it. But for me, there's no excuse. But I mean, I don't see many other teams doing that. But again, I don't religiously watch other clubs, so I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, look, I mean, it's working, right? So whatever he's doing, I can't question it. If it's not broken, don't fix, isn't it? And yeah, just keep it going. See, I mean, like, I'm not saying we're not doing a full Birmingham, but if I'm being honest, right, we've only lost, you know, we've won 21 games, drawn 6, and lost 5. I think last season we'd drawn about like 19 games. I know we lost a lot as well, but we only lost, I think, 2 more games than we drew or something. It's just crazy to think that, like, you know, a draw for us now actually means something, whereas before an unbeaten run of like 8 games would mean like 6 draws and 2 wins. But now an unbeaten run of 11 games is like 6 wins and like the rest are draws. But it's a nice change to see. But before I get carried away, anyway, let's say hi to everyone in the comments. Anyway, Ian, Gavin, Paul, obviously those are green names in the chat. Jeff de la Cruz, Martin Ryan, Jonathan Mordecai, as always. Who else we got? Jamie, is it? Jamie Anderson? Yeah, that's it. I'll go through some of the comments now, guys. Let's have a look. Okay. Got a Bluebird question for everyone. Only one player hasn't scored for Cardiff this season. Can you name him? Nathan Trott. What are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's probably an outfield player. Is that what he's referring to, Gav? I mean, yeah, Trott's the obvious answer, I suppose, but
it's gonna bug me now until I do it. It's
Osho. Osho scored, didn't he?
He scored, didn't he? Yeah. Ashford scored. Davis has definitely scored, didn't he? I'm trying to think. Yeah, he scored on debut. Yeah. Christ alive. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a forward that I'm forgetting about. I'm guessing we're not including Tanatu and Yakua. You really put us on the spot now. Hey, if anyone gets in the comments, fair play to you get a...
Yeah, it's got to be Osho, isn't it? I think it's got to be Osho.
Is it Osho? I thought he scored. I could be wrong, but he's the only person I can think of.
He was my first go-to. He was my first go-to, mate. But
well, you get a digital pat on the back if you get it right. So
yeah.
Actually, hang on. Paul says in the comment, I think that's what you're referring to there. There we are. Never mind that we got it. There we are. Well done, Paul. So maybe it was. I could have sworn he scored, but I don't know.
5 revelation points for everybody who got out.
Well done. Hey, so next time we have a quiz now, you get a 5-point start. Yeah.
I love that. That's a good question, though.
So next time, Rob, next time we have a quiz, you get a 5-point head start about that.
that.
And then the last question will still be the last question will still be worth like 26 points to win.
Yeah,
Let's have a look who else. Let's have a look.
100%, man. 100%. Even
That's a bit insulting. Don't put yourself that low down.
I think it's definitely justified in fairness. But yeah.
Paul does a trot as well, to be fair. It won't just me.
To be fair, I've got probably got more chance of scoring ahead than Yusuf Salich in fairness.
I find he's too tall for him sometimes. He just heads him up. Yeah, but Paul says I quite like teams coming and trying to press us instead of parking the bus. Honestly, yeah, it's because we didn't really know what to do when players would just do 5-4-1. Really, I think like especially at the start of season, like teams like Winbledon, they would just sort of sit off us because they knew that, and I'm surprised they changed now. But if you think about players looking at the table now and getting desperate for results. So teams are becoming less patient, let's say. Whereas at the start of the league, you'd find most teams against us were just part of the bus, wouldn't they? But now when you're looking to get into the playoffs or avoid relegation, you can tell teams become a bit more desperate. You're seeing more managerial changes. And if I'm being honest, right, not to throw shade at the teams, it's nice just to know that you know where the manager is now. He's staying for at least this season. You're not worried about thinking, oh, what's going to happen now? A couple of results now, we're going to see him. It's not like a case where we're waiting for 70 days to hear from a response from the owner. It's like we know he's our manager, he's on a 3-year contract. Whether he stays for 3 years is another question, but I think he will. What do you reckon? BBM here for the long haul? Or was that a tough question?
The thing is, it's a difficult one, mate. The reality is, the contract is good because that means if someone comes knocking, there will be some fee involved to take him away. Look, at the end of the day, we've all been there and done it. We've seen it. He is probably on the radar of a lot of owners. Even more so if he starts next season well. I'd love to say, mate, that he's going to be here for several years to come, etc. And when we go up next year, even if it's just, but I think the main aim next year is going up, get a consolidation, and kick on. I mean, it'd be lovely to get back to back, but the reality is, I think get up, get consolidated, and get ready for a big push. Then the season or the season after that, sort of thing. But we see it so many times in football, mate, where young, passionate, quality managers, it's just what owners want, isn't it? A lot of owners want. I'm not saying like the big five or whatever you want to call them these days, but like your teams like your Brightons, Fulham potentially, or Sunderland, do you know what I mean? All those sort of teams lingering around mid to top half table, even top half championship sort of teams are going to be looking at them, mate. Well, and I think that's a respect and a credit to the job he's done. But I just think that let's just enjoy him while we have him is my thing,
Yeah.
Without sounding negative and dismissive.
No.
Appreciate what we have while we have it. And I think the main thing, though, is, sorry to rabbit on, I think what the club should be doing is once it starts to snowball a bit more so, is have a plan B ready. Get a plan B in place, so it's not a rash decision like we've made time and time again, where we've gone, oh shit, we better pick someone from somewhere or whatever. We need to have a blueprint now of managers, even now, and there's no disrespect to anybody there, but have a blueprint of let's keep an eye on X, Y, and Z over the next year, 18 months, because they play this sort of style, similar to Gaffer at the minute, who could just carry on the motion if and when BBM goes. like you look at, again, speaking about before, look at Brighton, Bournemouth, very similar. That how many times over the years we've seen over the last few years Brighton, they click in managers from X, Y, and Z or whatever, but then you think, oh my god, they're gonna have a lull, gonna have a dip, but then the next manager kicks them on a place in a position table, So it's always about having that option ready, or have a couple of options ready, so that if shit hits the fan and he does leave, there's something in place, an infrastructure in place, ready to go and get that next manager, not to go just getting some randomer who's completely different style of football and stuff like that. That's what I think for me personally.
Yeah, it's definitely the most sensible thing. Obviously, it's not to say that just because you plan of a plan B doesn't mean that you're expecting plan A to fail. But it's just good. It's just knowing you have that sort of security as opposed to like
it's the way of life, mate.
Panic.
It's the way of life.
Yeah,
always good to have plan B. Always good to have plan B.
We don't want to be in panic market, do we? Like we don't want to have another Lamucci panic moment, do we? Where it's like, now it's time to panic.
That's it, mate. That's exactly that. How many times over the years have we done that, where we've been trigger happy and gone for a sentimental backing and things, which has worked for a couple of weeks, and then we're back to square one again. Cardiff's got a massive chance now. They have a huge chance for me to kick on and do something special, and to start a era of the type of play which we're seeing right now. There is good managers out there, and it feels weird saying like it's like BBM's left already, but there is managers out there, and it's just about keeping tabs on them, being aware of the situation, and we may have to do like other teams might do to us and take a team from a bigger level, take from a lower level. So we may have to do the same to somebody else. It's just life, isn't it? Shit rolls downhill.
I couldn't agree more, honestly. And I hope, I pray, and I know you're sort of the same boat, that he does stay as well. I think just to summarize on that is, I think for him personally, like, everyone's got the agents, like players got the agents, and the agent's going to want the best for them. But they also want them to earn a lot of money. But with Brian Murphy, he's his own guy, and he's, not that any player isn't, but I think for him it looks better probably on a CV if he was to stay and sort of say, look where I brought this club. And I wouldn't go as far as say that we were fallen giants, because I know we've been in the Premier League a few times, but I think what we got here is a real gold mine of a project from our youth academy. And to think now that a lot of our players are coming from our youth academy, that is our main kind of way of transfer now. Is we brought in five players at most of the season so far, and not all of them have two of them haven't even barely featured. I think Scanlon only just come on for the Wimbledon game last night. So it's he's not just chucking players in, he's not just signing 19 players, a whole new squad. He's been very, frugal. He's spent a fair bit, but he's tied players down to longer contracts. And no doubt now, hopefully, he starts renegotiating contracts with existing players of the club. Like, I think Joel Bagan, is it Joel Bagan one that's going out soon? I think he is. But I think there's probably a few that are probably coming towards the end. And, I would hope, I'm assuming there's a plan in place now, get those tied down to longer contracts, especially some of the younger players, because even if they have to go, at least just don't let them go anywhere near the cheap like we've always done before, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think Bagan is one who's I don't think he's signed yet, have he? I
don't think so.
But someone might, I expect, will correct me. But that's it, mate. The reality of life in football now is everyone's an asset. It's a business. As much as fans don't want to think that way,
football's a business. Yeah,
it is. It's about protecting your assets and making sure that as and when moves occur and business occurs, that we are reaping the rewards for said business as well.
Yeah, literally, I think, summed up perfectly, really. But before I forget, because I know us two will probably get carried away a lot, I'll spend the next sort of half hour and we'll just go nuts through the comments. I will say that, guys, it's not a compulsory thing, but if you want your comment to be guaranteed to be read out, you can always leave a super chat. It does really help out the channel a bit. Again, it's not a compulsory thing, but I can't guarantee I'll get through everyone's. I'll try my best. But this one I saw about Jonathan. You're waiting to bring this one up. What do you make of Wilshere saying they force us to play down the wings in his post-match interview? I thought it was great. I haven't seen the full thing, but I think all we did was attack from wide, really. I feel like the base of every attack that we have is give it out to Tanner or Willock, and then we patiently sort of put it through the middle then. But I don't know. I thought his comments are a little bit naive, maybe. I don't know if you've seen much of Wilshere's comments, but I don't know. I think everyone thought Luton would be sort of coasting back up the Championship, but obviously hasn't panned out that way. I'm not sure if there's anything you have to add to this one or not. Or
I gotta be honest, mate. I've not seen the interview.
I've already seen bits. So
look, at the end of the day, I think Jack was trying to play mind games, and ultimately it's backfired. And he's been called out on it, not just by Cardiff fans for the performance, but I think Luton fans as well. Friend of the show, Lewis, called him out on it as well, because I just think that it's very naive of him and somewhat disrespectful. But I don't mind to say things and do things and whatnot. I think it was poor from Jack. I like to think he could do better than that.
Do you think he's maybe just trying to get the fans and the players that riled up for the game? Maybe
so,
I think it's nothing really intentionally harmful.
No, I don't think it's personal. And I think it was just his way of trying to get things across. I just don't think it was the right way to go about it. But it is what it is, isn't it? 6 points. Thanks for that, Luton. Much appreciated.
I mean, I'll be honest, with BBM's press conferences, he doesn't tend to give much away, does he? I know press conferences are nothing really to go off of. I mean, if I'm being honest, I stopped watching them after Omariza because everyone says the same thing, no matter what manager we have. And it's nothing against Omariza, it's just the time I stopped watching the press conferences. Because if I'm being honest, right, whether you win, lose, or draw, I said that the speaking's done on the pitch, really. And he doesn't give a lot away, BBM. And even when he first signed, it's almost like, it's not like he didn't want to have the cameras on him, but I think what he wanted to basically emphasize without saying it is that he wants the football to do the talking. I think he's done a perfect job at showing that, and it shows as well. What's really nice, I can see, is you can tell everyone's buying into it. Whereas I feel like with previous managers, I don't know. You can see there's a group of people that kind of don't fully associate with it, but and again, going back to Wintle as well, like you're saying, like player season, I agree. Like if it's not him, I would probably say Joel Colwell maybe so far. But with Ryan Wintle, I mean, he's someone who I was, a bit skeptical of, thinking, oh, how is he going to be now? But he's come back with probably the best attitude, and you could tell that that's the BBM effect, isn't it? For whatever reason, he just, he doesn't put up with any bad attitude, and even with that small sort of little stint with Turnbull, I don't know if it's a disciplinary issue. Again, that could have led to something. With another manager, it might have. But it just seems like people are just very quick to get on with it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest parts about how we're getting our wins is the dressing room, the attitude, everything.
Yeah, absolutely agree, mate. Absolutely agree. Look, I think, I think we all knew Joel Colwell was a talent, and I mean it's the nicest way possible towards Ruben. Having watched Joel through like the younger age groups and things like that, part of me thought deep down that he may end up being the better Colwell. And again, I don't mean this in a horrible way towards Ruben at all, because without Ruben, we would have lost so many points this season. But Joel is very special. He's a different type of player, and I just think he has the ability for me to play at the very top. I think that even in his short run of top form, he'll probably be most certainly in the squad for the Welsh upcoming fixtures. I think he's nailed that on now. Must be for me. It has to be.
Yeah.
But you never know, obviously, with Craig. But I think that of all the players who I think will bring in the money, him and Dylan will probably be up there at the minute, because they just look like fantastic footballers. Like, that could probably walk into, without sounding arrogant, could walk into most championship teams. At the hell, even a couple of Premiership teams they could probably get into. They are that good. They are that.
Oh yeah, I agree. So sorry, I cut you off then.
No, mate, you're fine. You're absolutely fine.
I just thinking then of an interesting scenario of, like, I know this is going to be like the most biased thing, but everyone will agree with me anyway. But if you had to pick for a Welsh squad to be either full of people who play for Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham, or Newport, you're picking Cardiff right now, aren't you? I mean, you look at it. I mean, how many Welsh internationals now should we really be having from our squad? And it's thinking about Isaac Davis to become part of it, but you could saw the instant impact he had when he joined the Wales squad. I just think right now, you look at the different teams that Wrexham, and look, they might be 2 leagues above again or whatever. I don't know, but it's like I still go Cardiff because I look at the youngsters we have there, and it's the future, isn't it?
I think it will cause a lot of uproar if Craig picks Sparky, Mark Harris over Ruben or Davis or even Ashford,
yeah,
or Joel. I know they obviously it's very different positions of things like that, but I think if going similar positions, let's go Davis for argument's sake. If Davis is left out and Mark Harris is in, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then mate, then I just think, I don't know. I've always been I know it can be a bit of a divide between Cardiff fans and Welsh international fans and things like that. I love my country. I love Wales. I support them, football, rugby, whatever. So it makes it a bit more difficult if you're not picking players based on form. For me, that's doing it. For me, that's doing it the England way. Then you're picking players just because of their recent or historic reputation or whatever. So
yeah.
But we'll see, mate. You probably come out with, if they're not picked, that it's a do or die game, and we need players with experience X, Y, and Z. So I've probably written his statement already when he's probably asked about why is Davis, etc., not in the squad. So we'll see.
Oh, clenching my fist as we speak. Don't worry.
I know Craig's a big fan of mine, so yeah, he's probably watching as we speak right now.
No, I love Craig. I can't. It's just some things it does make me question. But same with BBM, like no keep on the bench. It makes me question. Like, what is he thinking? But maybe there's methods in that.
By the way, do we have an answer about the comms
about the player who hadn't scored?
No, the keeper. Why is there no keeper on the bench?
Oh, well, I'll find out now. I'll work my way down. If you find it, let me know. Where's that comment I just put up there? Jeff says Sai should be employed as an analyst down in the city. Problem is, though, how's he going to pay our wages when we're working for him? See, if he's going to analyst, we totally do this for the money.
If you're getting paid, then I need to have some conversations.
We do it for the money, not the love. Just in case anyone calm down. Just in case anyone thinks that we're not getting paid. No, of course not. Honestly, I know. I probably take on about 3 different voluntary jobs in my career, Christ alive. But Jamie says season completed now. Cardiff going up. Bolton don't have enough games to go and get second spot. In reality, it just can't happen now as they'll drop more points as the games pass by. Well, I hope you are right, Jamie. I hope we still end up top of the league. But I don't know. I think until it's probably done and dusted, let's just enjoy the ride and the thrills as they come. But Martin Ryan says NG is quality, total professional, and so good at decision making. Competes a level above this league, and I think a lot of players, I think they do compete at a minimum championship level. Probably not Premier League, obviously. As much as I'd love to say that, I think we've got a little bit of work to do. But the transformation this team's had. I mean, to think usually when teams start to free fall, if they get down to League One, then they, all stuff hits the fan and it's not great. But NG, he's back to his usual best, and again, like I said earlier, you could chuck him in any position more or less, and he'll give it his best, honestly. Bagan being solid as well. Also wanting him gone, and felt we needed a new first choice left back. I'm assuming that's what you meant. The end of last season. Honestly, I have been one of the few people that have been on the Bagan train from the start. Really, I think when he scored the 3 goals in 3 games as well, and again that was a clear indication that he had some quality about him. I just think until Errol Bullets, no one really gave him a chance, and I think he has bulked up a bit since, and he's become a really solid left back, but can also play centre back. Worst case. Let's have a look. Oh, this is a strong take. Jamie, I might come back to that one when Rob's back, but let's carry on going. But I'll try and remember to come back to that one because that'll be an interesting point to bring up. I think you made it up for players. Could see Spurs in the Championship if they carry on the way they're playing. Yeah, Steve, sorry. Who knows? No, all good, man. All good. I'm pretty good on the spot freestyling by now. Mafiko also didn't score. That's a good point. It was Mafiko was the other person, but I suppose he's gone on loan now. I want to come back to Jamie's comments because I thought this was a very interesting take. I don't know if you agree with this, but let's read it out. Relegation was needed after years of boring, static football and overpaid run-of-the-mill players. Just happy to take a wage, accepting just below mid-table form. What do you reckon of that? You think after all these years of static nothingness?
Yeah, I think it's spot on. I think a few people might mention this now, but I think that as weird and as daft as it may sound, relegation was the best thing to happen to this club. It's a gamble because
could have gone the other way.
It could have certainly gone tits up, and we could be, okay, Plymouth have picked up points now of late, which obviously we'll be reviewing because next on Saturday, isn't it? But they struggled. Luton struggled at first to adapt and stuff. It's a bit of a sink or swim scenario with League One, and but yeah, I think it's the best thing that's happened, mate. A lot of dead wood, and it was a hell of a lot of dead wood. A lot of reality checks, and a bit of a refresh. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's just like football. You don't always have to constantly be pressing, etc. It doesn't hurt to go back and restart and go again, and that's what Cardiff have done. Like I said, thankfully, it didn't go Pete Tong, and we didn't. We adapted to League One life relatively quickly, and it's paid dividends. But yeah, I absolutely agree with James' comments there. For me, yourself.
Yeah, Ian Everett at the wheel. That definitely split the fan base. I think someone like that. I mean, look, I think there was every chance that we could have gone for a manager who was, had promotions under their belt already, like the Warnock type, or even someone, who was more counter-attacking or possession-based, and they've had, promotions under their belt. But if I'm being honest, right, it was a massive risk, regardless of who we get in, because who's to say that manager was going to last the whole season? I mean, it only took a couple bad games, and now we're wanting the manager out because we're so used to having managers in all the time. The fans probably start getting used to, okay, well, he's gone now, bin him off. And I think with BBM as well, I mean, look, I thought it would, if I'm being honest, I think I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought it would take a bit more to get him off the ground with the short time he's had at the club. He came in just before the pre-season tour, really. And, I mean, out of 10, I would give him, it's hard not to give him at least a 9 because, it's never going to be 100% smooth sailing. And against some teams like Port Vale and Burton, it does frustrate you. Think we should be beating those teams. But on the whole, I mean, you can't argue with too much. We've lost the least amount of games out of all teams. It's the same as Lincoln, and we're winning games. We're not losing many games. We're winning our home games now. We're not just winning our home games, we're winning away games as well. And to think we've got such a lack of depth in the squad. We've got depth and quality in our squad, but we've got a very small squad, probably one of the smaller ones in League One, and yet we're still pulling results off. I mean, we haven't got more cup games. I'll be honest, that Carabao Cup was a nice run. To be able to play Chelsea and the performance we put against that, it shows that we cared about everything. And if I'm being honest, right, a lot of managers, and if I was manager as well, I would probably be like, oh, let's not focus on the cup. Let's just go all in the league. But to be fair to him, he's given every every different cup a good run. And it's nice to know we've been competitive in not just one aspect. And most managers will probably be like, don't worry about these. We're just focused on the league. And it was nice that we can do it. I'm just excited for what next season brings. I'm excited for the next game. It's been a long time last season when I was looking forward to a game. I just stopped going to games, and people pick up different hobbies. It's just like, it's nice to just have the enjoyment, thinking, oh yeah, we're going to watch Cardiff City now, and you're not saying you guarantee to win, but it's like you're pretty sure you're not going to be embarrassed anymore or see paint dry in football, which is nice for a change. I think that's a big plus, really. So yeah, I'm just happy with the way things are going. But Martin Ryan says that sat next to a Spurs season ticket holder last night. He couldn't believe that Colwell brothers are playing in League One. He believes both are potential Premier League players. Ruben only a cameo. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I said, going back to what I mentioned earlier, I think Joel definitely is a Premier League footballer. I think Ruben's on the cusp of it, which seems a bit daft saying because obviously he's a little bit older, but I think for me now, Joel could easily walk into a Premiership team. Like, I think that, you look at the teams in the Prem, would he make these teams better? Again, I go back to Fulham. I think he gets into that Fulham team, and him and Harry Wilson, which I've seen a wild thing about him, by the way. I know it's his Cardiff show, but I've seen a wild thing about Harry Wilson today, that potentially he's a free agent. He may go West Ham or a load of shit. Why would you go to West Ham when West Ham are so poor? Probably potentially going to go down.
Championship, yeah.
Like, why? Harry Wilson should be aspiring to do better than that. So I hope that's just a rumor. But yeah, I think both of them could do a job in the Prem to the lower end of the table easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, I was talking to my dad about this the other day about the likes of Dylan Lawler, thinking like, he's someone who's had interest from the very top clubs. The only issue is though, is if you pull a Chelsea on that and he ends up signing for a big club, let's say, just theoretically, you pick Dylan Lawler, for example, right? And then he goes to let's say he goes to Liverpool, right? He's probably getting loaned out to a Championship club in his first season. And then the next season, depending on where he is, if he picks up any injuries or whatever, they might loan him out again to another Championship. And this thing, right? It's like, if one of our big players goes, you want to know that, not just for your selfish reasons, that they go for a decent chunk. You want to know they actually get a good career out of it as well, because at the moment, every player in our squad has got a career and a future ahead of them in Cardiff. There's all seems to be a long-term future for these players. And look, some of them are probably coming towards the latter stages of their career. But especially for the younger ones now, it's like, Dylan Lawler could be a future captain at Cardiff City, and probably will be if he was, let's say, if it played out and he was here for many more years. Whether that's going to happen, who knows? But when you go to a big club and look at, bigger wages is all, sunshine and rainbows, but you lose that, the fans are not going to show the same level of appreciation unless you hit the all-time highs. And I feel like with Lawler, I think he is Premier League worthy as well as the Colwell brothers. But I doubt he's going to go straight into a big side, into the first team. Even including the Colwell brothers, I doubt they go straight into there just because of, technically they were playing League One this season. There's the way I see it, honestly, is that there's going to be a certain price for everyone that they have to go for, regardless of how much you want to keep the players. But I'm still shocked now how we managed to turn down offers from the likes of Yusuf Salik and other players as well, which is what it makes me baffled. Because if I'm being honest, I was almost certain you would go. It's nice to see you stayed.
I think, going back to Dylan Lawler, sorry, jump in a sec, though.
No, you're good.
Dylan Lawler, for me, if he is to leave to a big team, and this is a big team, I would like to see him go abroad to like a Bayern Munich or something like that.
That's another club,
Bayern Munich or Dortmund. I think that move works. I think that he gets to play at a very high level. He will start, and it'll be competitive for him as well. And I think it's less risk for him for his career than if he was to go to like Liverpool, Chelsea, United, whatever it may be. I think if that's the case, in an ideal world, that would be the move I'd want him to go to for a Bayern. I know that's a big thing, but it's not out of the question. And I think that for me, that would be the one. That I would be like, fair play, mate. Go for it. Go enjoy.
Who's the last Welsh player for Bayern Munich? I think it has been any.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it a player who played 2 games in like 24 hours?
Mark Hughes is the most prominent Welsh player to represent Bayern Munich. That was 1987.
Yeah, because Mark Hughes,
crazy.
I think it was a record for him. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. He played for Bayern, and then after the game playing for Bayern, he got on a plane, headed off to play for Wales.
Right.
And like some 12 hours later, some of the fans in attendance and chat, I feel like I didn't make that up. I'm pretty certain I've heard that before, just before I was born. But I'm pretty certain that is a thing.
There was one last year, a young midfielder from Mid Wales, Arwyn Walby, 2024, or a couple of years ago was. I'm not sure about that, but he was listed in the Bayern or the Bayern World squad. I'm not sure if that's the same thing. But
I just want to jump on something that John says. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. You're absolutely wrong there, John. Sorry, mate, but Bayern have been producing players for their academy for the last God knows how long. That's incorrect. They have a fantastic academy, and like I would say, a lot of their first team players, apart from like your Kanes, etc., are through the Bayern Munich academy. So that's incorrect there. So thank you for playing, though. That's a great one, Roy.
I was going to bring that one up. Yeah,
that is a great shout. Good footballing teams, consistent in the Prem. That would be good.
Brentford do well. They're 7th, I think they are. Considering they lost Thomas Frank.
What a job he's doing, by the way. I thought when he took over, I thought they would bomb.
Same. I will have to just sort of finish on the last couple of points here. Oh, God. Just because I know now that the member show will be starting very soon. So, guys, as the members are, there's plenty on you. Please go afterwards, see Si and Matt. Plymouth, I haven't spent any time talking about this. Score predictions, lads, get your comments in. What do you reckon the score will be? I believe it's a away game, so when you put your scores in, just make sure you put the winning score on the right-hand side. What do you reckon? Be a tough game? I think it'd be a bit tougher than it was at the start of the season, maybe, or maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, 100%. It'd be a damn sight tougher than what it was at the start of the season. I'm going to go a draw for me. I think it's a draw.
Martin Ryan says 1-5.
Yes, Martin. Also, I haven't spoken to Martin for ages. I hope you're doing good, man. Missing about. So, yeah, it's good to see you in the chat, bruv.
Shout out to Dave as well, who I met at the ground about last week, last Saturday. And he watched the show, didn't he, comments, but it was nice to see. I don't know how he managed to identify me from the back of my head with a hat on as well, but fair play, that's some good scouting. Maybe you should be at Cardiff City as a scout. But it's not usual for me to feel, I guess, famous, but there you go, getting used to the new life now. So, don't tell me now. It's stupid early kickoff, is it?
Yeah, 12 kickoff, mate.
It is as well.
And they done the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty certain they did the same to Plymouth fans. And I don't get it. I don't know why we're doing this. Why he's like, I'm guessing it's televised, is it?
Probably, yeah.
It's a long ass trip, and it's such a dick move from the league. From Sky, so it's bound to be because of Sky. That's done it. Make fans will be leaving 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That's nuts. That's wild.
Yeah,
I know several people who are going up to it. But it's just nuts. It's just don't give a shit. They don't give a crap about the fans. It's all about the money.
That's it. 3 fans. I'll end on this because Jamie puts a good shout. I reckon to go back down to 10 men, win 6-0. We'll score 1 goal and then we'll get a red card. Then we'll score 5 more probably. But I'll predict. I would say 2-1 card. I think Tom Cleverley will be a bit more clever this time, but I still think we'll have the better of him. So.
Good clip, Alan.
Oh, that's terrible. So that was that was terrible. Anyway. Rob, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, my friend.
Oh, awesome, guys. Thank you all for watching as well and engaging in the comment section. Please go over to Patreon now, where the QR code will be either here on the vertical or here or whichever side, because everyone tells me I do it wrong. It's on that side for me, but there we are. It's what it is. There we are. Thank you all, guys, for watching. I'll see you all soon.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans. Balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.